to the next. So there's around 400 bridges, 150 canals, and 118 islands. When you see the beautiful homes, many of these are bed and breakfast, pensioni. Some of them are apartments. Very few are family homes, you know, as they were intended for originally. And another thing, of course, we associate with Venice is the glass. And glass has been made in Venice for the last 800 years. It used to be made in downtown Venice, but they moved all the furnaces out to one of the islands called Murano because of fire, the risk of fire. So they were all moved to one particular island. So the glass you see in Venice is made on the island of Murano. And going back hundreds of years, if you were a glass blower, you had a very, very good position in society. For example, it meant that you could carry a sword, which in those days was only for the noblemen, and it also meant, if you had a daughter, that she could marry into the upper class. So the glass blowing industry was tremendously, and still is, tremendously important. And a little bit later on, after our tour of the palace, then if you're interested, we can go and see a glass blower at work. There's one or two off the main square where you can watch a demonstration of the glass being made. So here on the right is the Church of the Redeemer, here on the right hand side. Look carefully, you can see only the front is marble, and look down the side, it is brick, to keep the buildings as light as they can. So that's the Redemptor. Feast days in June, I think, end of June, something like that. Anybody remember? They have a big celebration on the feast day of the Redemptor. Fireworks and goodness knows what else.
Praise the King.
Redemptori. So again, you've got bridges. And I always look at the rooftops of the lovely buildings. They have gardens. So if you look to the left in a moment, this used to be a customs house on the left. And you have a church with a big dome. That is the Church of Our Lady of Help, Santa Maria della Salute, Our Lady of Help, of Salvation. And this church, very fitting for us, it was built at the time of the plague in the 17th century. Venice also, you know, in the plague in the 17th century, half the population of Europe was lost to the plague. So Venice also suffered greatly, like everywhere else. And in Thanksgiving for the plague finally leaving Venice, they built this church in Thanksgiving. So this is Santa Maria della Salute. It's coming up down the left-hand side with a huge dome. Now in a moment, you're going to have your first glimpse of St.Martin Square, in just a few minutes, and also of the Grand Canal. Elton John, dove?
Quella casa gialla, la chiesa.
La chiesa è gialla, e tutta la casa e la chiesa. Okay, I'm just double checking with Giorgio. Over to the right you see a church which is also a nunnery. And then if you keep looking on the right, look at those beautiful windows in the house, the yellow house to the right of it, you know, like arches. But if you look to the left, there's a yellow house, and that's the Venice home of Elton John. So where this boat is now on the right, so we have the nunnery there, and then just to the left of it is a yellow building. Can you see it just there now
Yes,
at
yes.
3 o'clock? And that's Elton John's downtown home. Now I'm going to ask Giorgio who this yacht is belonging to. Giorgio? Oh, he doesn't know.
That's my yacht.
I bet it's Putin's.
No, it's mine.
Not anymore, we call him Rasputin. So there's a very good view now of Our Lady of Help, the church built in Thanksgiving for the plague, leaving the city. And then look at these rowers here from the race. And here on the right, this is another island, and this is a monastery complex, and the church belongs to St. George, Benedictine, here on the right hand side. So if you keep looking to the left, we've got some more rowers. The private yacht, we don't know who it belongs to. right now is St. George's, which is also a monastery as well as a church. And if you keep looking to the left, where you have all the boats there, this is the beginning of the Grand Canal. The Grand Canal is 2.5 miles long, and it has 3 of the most famous bridges in Venice across it: the Rialto Bridge, the Academy Bridge, and the Scalzi Bridge. And when we take the gondola shortly, then we'll be taking it from here. We're taking the gondola from Harry's Bar. Have you heard of Harry's Bar? This is where the cocktail, does anybody know the name of the cocktail? The Bellini. Have you heard of the Bellini cocktail? Which is champagne, yeah, Harry's Bar. So we take the gondola from Harry's Bar, where the cocktail was made for the first time, the Bellini, which is white, peach juice and champagne. So the Grand Canal is down to the left, which has the most fabulous palaces on it, as you can imagine. And then if you keep looking to the left, you will see in a moment the square of St. Mark's. And can you see 2 columns at the entrance of the square? On the left-hand side, you have St. Theodore on top of the column, and on the right-hand column, you have the winged lion, the symbol of St. Mark the Evangelist. So keep looking to the left. This is the entrance to the square. Can you see behind the Basilica? That was a private chapel originally of the Doges, St. Mark's Basilica. So keep looking to the left. You can see a big bell tower. You can see 4 arches at the top, the symbol of the wing, the wing lion up there. There's St. Mark's Square to the left, and then this beautiful building on the left with the pink and white geometric marble. This is the palace we're going to visit with our guide after we've been on the gondola. So they're now at 3 o'clock. That's the palace with the beautiful arches that look like keys almost. So there's the square. You've got St. Mark's Basilica, you've got the bell tower, a little bit of the square. The square, of course, is much bigger. And there you have the Palace of the Doges, a little bit of scaffolding at the end. And then can you see over the canal there's a bridge suspended? That is the Bridge of Sighs. So on the left-hand side, you have the court, and over on the other side, as we shall see, you have the dungeons, which were used until 1922 as a prison here in Venice. You can still see the shackles and the hole where the officer, the prison guard, would have put the filtering water through. So the orange building on the left-hand side, this is one of the top hotels in the town. This is where we're not staying, honey. So this is the Daniele, and this is where, in the film The Tourist, where Angelina Jolie, where she stays, in real life. I mean, that's used in the film. And then as we keep looking to the left, we're going to walk along here when we get off the boat in a moment. And you see a statue, a man on horseback. He's the first king of unified Italy, Victor Emmanuel II. So we're going to walk along this waterfront to the square. So down to the right is St. George's Monastery Complex, the monastery and church on an island all to itself. And then can you see in the distance to the right a green stretch? That is the Lido Island, the only island in Venice where you have a road, which is about 8 miles long. So those little ferry boats from where we got off is coming to there, because that's the only place you can use a car. And this is also where the Venice Film Festival takes place, on this leisure island, the Lido, and also where you have Venice's only casino, Italy's only casino. In the summer it's on that island to the right, you can see the dome there, and in the winter it's in the palace on the Grand Canal. So every time we're going to go over several bridges as we walk from here now to the square, and every time we go over a bridge, we're leaving one of the islands. Where you see coloured poles in the water as we shout and walk along, it might be red and gold, it could be blue and black, they are the colours of the owner's family arm, the coat of arms of the family.
God bless you all.
Like Father Jeremy will have.
Do another video today. What would I do?
The aristocrat.
Oh, yeah.
If you're an aristocrat, you have your